nowadays, especially like since the latest Google algorithm updates, we see that many are coming back to human generated, or maybe we can say human adjusted, localized and relevant content. Why is that shift happening, and what risks did companies face with AI only strategies?
We actually have been using artificial intelligence for translations from 2018-19. That's when we started developing our own first machine translation engines with neural machine translation technology. It was disruptive back then for iGaming. And the way we were doing it was that we were customizing each engine per client, right? So we kept the outcome relevant per client. And then large language models already existed. They became publicly available in 2022-23, like you mentioned, November 22 with GPT 3.5. And that's when we saw massive adoption, right? Everyone went crazy about it. Like, this is it. Everyone is going to go to ChatGPT. And then you have massive adoption. With all fairness, it's an excellent model and it's evolving really, really well. But then there's the realization part when you start, okay, well, this is nice, but it's not producing the results I want, right? It's somewhat repetitive. It's not as creative as I expect it to be. If you think about it, it's trained with data that is available online. So it will be somehow limited to that for the time being. So then you have Google that started penalizing AI generated content. And I think that I agree with you. We have been seeing some like people coming back to the human generated content, not only human generated content, but the augmented human content, let's say. So we do believe at All In because we are very familiar with AI. We've been seeing a big evolution, of course, but we see AI as the heavy lifter, right? When you have chunks of text to translate, for example, you have millions of words. Large language model, a neural machine translation model does the heavy lifting. It's fast. And then the human is still in the loop to make it relevant to the post-editing. But you cannot do this with generic large language models. They need to be trained models with your specifics. For example, terminology is extremely important. Retrieval augmented generation, extremely important as well. Like the workflow you build needs to be complex in order to have good results. It can't simply be prompt-based or uniquely prompt-based. We have a massive library of prompts that we manage, and they are all custom-built per client. And that's where you get that sweet spot where you make the most out of a large language model or a neural machine translation engine that combined, by the way, do really good job. And then you have the humans that make it perfect, but it improves dramatically the turnaround time. That's where we see AI as a game changer. The turnaround time, the go-to market is much faster nowadays.